Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, elderly man shot dead at home in Old Harbor Bay. A senior citizen was shot dead at his home in Old Harbor Bay, St. Catherine on Sunday. Dead is Calvin Campbell, a 69-year-old resident of Terminal Road in Old Harbor Bay. Campbell was reportedly attacked about 9 p.m. He was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was admitted and subsequently succumbed to his injuries. The Old Harbor Criminal Investigation Branch is probing the matter. Electrician electrocuted while picking mangoes. An investigation has been launched into the suspected electrocution of an electrician in Admiral Town in Kingston on Saturday. Dead is 55-year-old Linton Cowan of Russell Road, Kingston 5. Reports are that about 10:10 a.m. Saturday, Cowan was picking mangoes with an iron pipe which got entangled with a high-tension wire. The injured man was taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Downtown Kingston fire leaves 16 people homeless. 16 people, including 4 children, are now homeless after fire destroyed their homes along Charles Street and Luke Lane in downtown Kingston this morning. The fire reportedly started about 8:30 a.m. and engulfed 4 homes. Firefighters are currently investigating the cause. 4 units from the Rollington Town Fire Station, Trench Town Fire Station, and the York Park Fire Station responded to the blaze. Ashari Grant, a resident of Luke Lane, said her grandson was the one who first realized that their house was on fire and alerted her. When me look through the window, be a fire me see. Me start ball out cause me just see be a smoke. Meantime me run out, the lady we fear house for fire catching her. She not in there, and other people come in and throw water, she said. She said she lost everything in the fire. Me no know what me fi do now, she said. Me lose everything, chest a drawer, dresser, bed, me 2 fridge. Me just buy the deep freezer and me sell juice, she said. By the time Annette Wright was alerted to the fire, it was already too late. She told the news that she panicked as this was the second time a fire was destroying her home. She managed to remove a few suitcases but lose everything else to the fire, including more than $300,000 that she, a bar owner, intended to use for her business. Still shocked, Wright believes she would have fared better had the fire brigade arrived earlier. Me blame the fire brigade. People alright go up there, drive go up there, and this. Me not lie, me feel so upset about them, she said. Everything me buy me pay tax. So what them for? Cause if them did come my yard wouldn't catch. However, Valerie Dixon, superintendent with responsibility for operations for the Kingston and the St. Andrew Division, said the fire brigade responded swiftly. The moment we got the call, we dispatched the units, and more than 3 stations would have responded to the call, she said. Male sex worker shot and injured in Crossroads. A cross-dressing male sex worker was shot and injured during what police said was an attempted robbery on Robert Crescent in Crossroads, St. Andrew on Monday morning. The 19-year-old man from Gordontown, St. Andrew, was shot in the groin and has since been hospitalized, the police say. Reports indicate that around 4:45 a.m., the now injured man, who was dressed in female clothing and a wig and presented himself as a woman, was allegedly soliciting services along Grenada Crescent in New Kingston. The news understands that a man driving a grey Toyota Probox with public passenger plates affixed drove up and indicated that he had an interest in the services the male sex worker was providing. The sex worker entered the vehicle and directed the driver to one of the guest houses on Beechwood Avenue, where he regularly conducted his affairs. According to the police, the driver, however, drove to Robert Crescent, where he reportedly brandished a handgun and demanded the sex worker's hand back. The cross-dresser refused to comply with the demands, and the man opened gunfire, hitting him in the groin. The sex worker reportedly ran from the vehicle towards the end of Robert Crescent before doubling back and heading onto Beechwood Avenue. He subsequently ran to a guest house and collapsed on the steps at the entrance. The authorities were summoned and later transported the injured man to hospital. Police said their investigations have so far confirmed that robbery was the motive of the shooting. The police further disclosed that the other sex workers did not want the crossdresser to work in the area and that he had been robbed several times before. Cops charged a man after gun attack at a Kingston home. The police have charged a man in connection with a gun attack at a home on Raphael Road in Kingston 13 last month. The accused 31-year-old Kimoy Kimishe from Wellington Road, Kingston 13, was charged following an intensive probe by detectives assigned to the Kingston Western Division Proactive Investigation Unit. Shea was charged with shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a firearm to commit a felony, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and being part of a criminal organization. He is accused of being in the company of several men who fired shots at a woman after not finding her father. The incident reportedly occurred on Sunday, March 17, 2024. Reports were that around 10:40 p.m., the woman was at a house when 8 armed men approached her, seeking to know the whereabouts of her father. The men, the police said, set fire to a parked motor vehicle, and the woman ran in a bid to escape. The men chased and fired several shots after her, but she managed to escape injury. The friend woman sought refuge at a premises within the community. The men picked up the spent casings from the scene and escaped on foot in the area, the police said. Following investigations, Shea was arrested. He was charged based on eyewitness statements and after a question and answer session with his attorney. No court date has yet been finalized for the accused, the police said. Prosecution seeking to have witnesses testify remotely in Noel Maitland trial. The prosecution in the trial of Constable Noel Maitland is to make 3 special measures applications on Tuesday to have witnesses testify remotely. Constable Maitland is charged with a 2022 murder of his girlfriend, social media influencer Donna Lee Donaldson. When the matter was called up Monday, the prosecution told the court that it served the defense with documents indicating its intention. One of Mr. Maitland's attorneys, Christopher Townsend, told the court that the legal team needed more time to respond to the applications. There are 18 witnesses on the indictment, and the prosecution is relying on circumstantial evidence. The applications will determine if the trial, which was scheduled to begin today at the Home Circuit Court, will get underway. Mr. Maitland was further remanded. He is charged with murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse. Ms. Donaldson went missing on July 13, 2022, after she was last seen at the Constable Maitland's home 2 days earlier. Her body has not been recovered. Forensic scientist testifies about items received from analysts in Deane case. A forensic scientist assigned to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine gave testimony in the Deane case about items provided by the police for analysis. The forensic scientist, who has 16 years of experience, is the Crown's 10th witness in the ongoing case against the 3 cops charged with the incident in which Deane was fatally beaten while in police custody in 2014. The 3 accused are Corporal Elaine Stewart, District Constables Marlon Grant and Juliana Cleavon, all of whom are charged with manslaughter and misconduct in a public office. They all made an appearance in the Westmoreland Circuit Court on Monday. During the morning session, the witness, who testified virtually via the Zoom platform, recalled receiving 5 items labeled RE1 to 5 from the police on August 4, 2014. The items were labeled a case of wounding with intent. RE1 contained a swab of what appears to be blood samples collected from a drain pipe outside the cell block at the Barnett Street Police Station. RE2 contained a swab of what appeared to be blood samples collected from the passageway of the cell block. RE3 contained a pair of gray multicolored shorts from Adrian Morgan, one of the inmates who was in custody with Deane. The other package, RE4, contained a gray t-shirt, gray undershirt, gray shorts and red shorts belonging to another inmate, Damien Cargill. RE5 contained a white t-shirt, a khaki shirt, and a black jeans shorts that belonged to a third inmate, Marvin Orr. Morgan, Cargill, and Orr were charged in connection with the beating death of Deane. Morgan and Orr pleaded guilty to manslaughter and were sentenced to time served in custody, while Cargill was deemed unfit to plead. The witness concluded her testimony before the lunch break. The allegations in the case are that Deane was arrested for possession of a ganja spliff and placed in custody, where he was brutally beaten on August 3, 2014. He sustained severe injuries to his brain, which left him in a coma. He died 3 days later at a Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. It is alleged that the 3 cops were on duty at the police station when Deane was beaten. It is further alleged that Stewart, who has an additional charge of perverting the course of justice, instructed that the cell in which the attack took place be cleaned before the arrival of investigators from the Independent Commission of Investigations. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.